Hello and welcome to the Blue Shadow Podcast. My name is Joey.
I am Dan, and this is a very special week for me. This is Super Bowl week. If you've listened to us before, you've heard Joey mention that I'm an Eagles fan. And so, in the spirit of that, we decided to do something that we used to do at work every year, but now we're bringing it on air, and that is a party prop betting sheet. This is strictly for fun, just between us. There is no money involved. However, the bragging rights are at large and will be exercised for the winner.
I love it. I'm excited about this. I enjoyed doing it at work. I think it's well worth putting on here, even though it's outside of the realm of our usual Star Wars discussion. But I think it's fun, relevant, and anytime
Super
you get to
simple to
talk,
do.
anytime you get to talk about the Eagles, you're a happy camper. So I'm happy to oblige.
Yes,
I
this
have to
is
say,
this.
before
Go
I
ahead.
start, I I passively pay attention to football. I do fantasy football. I'm not like necessarily like allied to a team other than the Steelers because I'm from the Pittsburgh area. But um, I watched the AFC Championship game, and I know Dan's not big on this whole the refs help the team, but it was a little suspect.
It was, but
Let's just hope they get a fair shot, and the refs aren't wearing red stripes for your sake.
I agree. They look like candy canes.
Anyway, ready to get rolling?
Yeah. So if you want to follow along or create your own uh, party prop betting sheet, I used one for it was from covers.com. If you just type in Super Bowl prop bet sheets, like the third one down, that's the one we've used in the past. So we're just gonna roll with it. So the way this is structured is Joey and I both filled this out beforehand, and I don't know what he wrote. He doesn't know what I wrote. So I'm going to read the question. We're each going to give our answer, and then I'll give a little bit of the background behind the answers and some other information that could be useful to know. So starting off strong, number one, the length of the time, the length of the national anthem in seconds, over under 120 and a half seconds. What did you put, Joey?
I put under 120.5 seconds because it's John Batiste. He's very talented, but he's kind of straightforward, and I wouldn't expect him to be like wailing on and on. So I gave him under a minute and 20 seconds.
I also went under. For a lot of the national anthems in this playoff season have all been very to the point,
Hmm.
not very drawn out. And I think for the Super Bowl, it's also going to be very to the point. So the game gets started, and then there's plenty of time for the halftime show, even though there's always going to be plenty of time for the halftime show. But I think it's going to be short and sweet.
I agree.
Okay. That brings us to number two, coin toss. Did you have heads or tails?
Tails never fails.
See, I always pick heads. I'm a, I pick heads in the coin toss.
We're splitting the gap here already.
I know. I mean, can't really give any information about this one. So, just moving on. The first offensive play will be either a run or a pass. I'll go first. I think it's gonna be a run. I think both teams are run heavy.
I think
Um,
I think it's going to be a run as well.
uh,
Start off conservative.
right. Both teams have a running back that they like to lean on, one a little bit more than the other, but that's okay. Which team will score first? I think whichever team touches the ball um, first will score first. So I put the Eagles for this one, but this one really could go 50-50. Whoever gets the ball first will probably score first.
I put the Chiefs.
That's fair.
I again, no
Really,
real like. I think your assessment, but with whoever gets the ball first, is definitely likely. But they score a lot.
yeah,
So do the Eagles.
they do. So that brings us to number five. What do you think the first turnover of the game will be?
Our options here are fumble, interception, turnover on downs, or missed field goal. And I chose turnover on downs.
Ooh, interesting. I chose fumble.
Really?
They both teams have very strong defenses. The Eagles are currently plus 10 in the turnover margin in the playoffs. Chiefs also they have a very solid defense. So I would not be surprised if a fumble is the first turnover.
I I tried to stick run of the mill because I feel like I always go out on a limb with stuff like this and pick the crazy thing, even though fumble's not
Mhm.
that crazy. But normal progression of the game were to go ideal. I guess no turnover and downs is ideal. Anyway, we could move on.
Yeah. So that brings us to which team will commit the first accepted penalty of the game. I picked the Eagles. The
I picked
Eagles
the
are gonna
Eagles too,
they're gonna false start or do something stupid.
or nothing at all.
No, they're gonna do something. We always
Uh,
have.
oh, they're gonna look at Patrick Mahomes the wrong way.
No, it's gonna be an offensive penalty. It's gonna be a procedure, illegal man downfield. Same nonsense we've been committing all year.
Made eye contact with Andy Reid,
Oh
minus five
goodness,
yards.
you are a hater.
It wasn't a fun game to watch.
It
The
was not a
AFC
fun game to
Championship.
watch, but I have a whole other section of thoughts on that. So,
Sorry, I'll calm myself down. This was my one opportunity to really lean into that.
oh, I know. So this brings us to probably the first real interesting question. Will either team, or actually, that's a lie. I got ahead of myself. Which team will get to 10 points first? I think the Eagles will. Joey, what do you think?
Eagles.
Or neither. Or neither.
I
This could be
pick
a very,
I pick the Eagles.
I also
I
picked
don't
the
think
Eagles.
I don't think we're gonna have a game where neither team scores 10 points.
God, if it is, that'll be so boring.
It really would.
Okay, that brings us to question 8, and there are 19 of these questions, by the way. Question 8 is, will either team score during the last 2 minutes of the first half? I put yes.
I put yes as well.
I think there's going to be a field goal in the last 2 minutes before halftime.
If not a scoring drive.
Yeah.
At a minimum a field goal.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be. I
I feel
personally
like
think it'll be.
both of these kickers are good enough where they can get it just shy of halfway across the field and then kick.
Mr. Elliott's been questionable this postseason.
Well, there are other things that are questionable about Harrison Bucker. So
Damn right. Okay,
anyway,
that this brings us to the first one where I really don't have any idea. Which song will be performed first at the halftime show? Joe, you can take the lead on this one.
they gave us several options, not like us, Euphoria, Squabble Up, King Kunta, and DNA. I'm not. I guess we should go off and start by saying I'm not the biggest Kendrick Lamar fan. I don't have anything against him, but it's just not the type of music that I listen to. Like when this was Rihanna, I was like doing cartwheels around our office talking about which song I thought it was going to be. But for this, I put DNA. I feel like it's prior to his more recent success, his most recognizable song, so it'll kind of get people in that might not be familiar with the new stuff, and then the ball will be rolling.
I agree. I think it's going to be DNA. Start with the one everybody knows, but it also could be Not Like Us for that reason.
And that one is so insanely popular these days.
Yeah.
Did you see it won 5 Grammys?
No,
How bad
that's,
would you feel if you were Drake?
I'm sure Drake's very upset in his private jet and whatever he's doing.
I saw he was doing an open mic night in Australia the other day.
Mm. Was he not at the Grammys?
No.
Well, him and Kanye probably had a.
Kanye showed up by himself. That's a whole different story. Well, not by himself, uninvited.
I see. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, he got kicked out nevertheless.
See that I heard that he chose to leave.
I thought that he was escorted out.
He went online and said that that is not true. That they left on their own accord.
Notoriously reliable Kanye West. Anyway, we can talk about Kanye later.
Okay, that brings us to how many songs will be played during the halftime show? Over under 10 and a half.
I said under 10 and a half, mainly because I couldn't think of 10 Kendrick Lamar songs, but that's my personal bias showing. So I think it's very possible that this could be the other direction.
And I picked the over on this one.
Oh,
I think we're gonna get short snippets of a bunch of songs,
yeah.
and then we're gonna get two long songs.
I feel like that's true because I mean, like again, I'm not super familiar with his music, but if there's a way that they can like maybe focus on verses that aren't as swear heavy for the TV,
Yeah,
that could potentially be a way for him to sing more without having his voice be bleeped out. That's a fun one to split on though.
it is. And there's a couple more that we could do, little bonus ones at the end if we're feeling it regarding the halftime show. But let's get through where we're going, and then we can always revisit.
Mhm.
So that brings us to the total number of players to attempt to pass, over or under 2.5.
I said under 2.5. I feel like only two players will throw a pass in this game.
I went over. I think there's going to be a trick play.
See, I feel
I,
like I don't like I said with the turnover on downs. I feel like I'm trying to keep it straight and narrow this time. I for entertainment's sake hope that you're correct though.
I think the Chiefs will do it at about the 40-yard line.
You have a quarter pick for that.
Probably the second.
There you go.
It's probably going to be a little touch pass to Worthy, who's going to throw it over the top. Anyway, that brings us on to the stat-based questions. Who will have more passing yards, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, or other?
Other. I put Jalen Hurts.
I put Patrick Mahomes.
You go birds, man.
Well, that segues us into number 13. Who will have more rushing yards? And I picked Saquon Barkley.
I did as well.
The run-heavy Eagles are going to run behind Saquon.
I yeah, yeah. You're making me want to change my Jalen Hurts answer, but I think that this one is definitely correct to Saquon Barkley.
Saquon only needs 134 yards for 3,000 all-purpose yards this season.
Dang.
Yeah,
You're probably happy with that acquisition for the season.
I mean he's worth it. If they win, the contract is worth it for 1 year. It doesn't matter what he does afterwards. $27 million a year for a running back. I'll take it. Okay. So that transitions us to who will have the most receiving yards. Who did you pick, Joey? The choices are AJ Brown, Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy, Devontae Smith, or other.
At this point, when I was filling this out, I was like, I boxed myself in here. So I
You can
picked
change
AJ.
your answer, and
No, 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 no. I got to stand. I got to be consistent. So I picked AJ Brown because I picked Jalen Hurts. But your logic, coming from an Eagles fan, makes a lot of sense. But I'm going to stick with AJ Brown because what if he's right? Or what if it's right?
I am also going to stick with the Eagles, but I'm going Devontae Smith.
Okay.
I think he's going to get open. Or I also is toying with other with Dallas Goedert. I do think it'll be an Eagle though. I think Mahomes will spread the ball to more people.
Hmm.
Um, but I think it'll be an Eagle. Now this might be my favorite question. What color will the liquid poured on the winning head coach be? I've gotten this correct 2 years in a row, and I'm hoping to go three. Um, the first option is lime green or yellow. Second option is clear. Third option is red or pink. Fourth is blue. Fifth is orange, and sixth is purple.
Every time I pick red because it's my favorite color Gatorade. Not
So you
very
lock.
logical. I'm locking in at red.
Okay, I'm picking orange, but that's because I'm biased and I want the Eagles to win.
Do they use orange?
They do, and the Chiefs use purple.
Okay, so I'm getting it wrong.
The Chiefs have done purple the past 2 years. Um, Eagles did orange for the NFC title game.
Okay.
So, because last year purple was not an option, it was other,
Ah,
and I wrote purple in.
makes sense.
Yes. So that brings us to question 16. Will either team score during the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter? Yes or no, Joey?
I said yes. Much like
I said,
you wait, go ahead, go ahead.
I said no.
Really? Not a field goal?
Nope.
Not a touchdown.
I think it'll be a.
Not a safety. I'm
I'm
not
going
trying to
no.
change your mind. I just
No, I'm going no. I think it'll be a two sc- a long a big two score game. By that I mean probably 15 or 16.
wow. And that'll have been decided before the last 2 minutes.
I think so.
Dang.
Could go either way, but
Yeah. See, I'm anticipating a close game.
regardless of the outcome, I think one of the offenses will will go off. I just hope it's mine.
Me too. Which does transition us into the next question very well.
Will the combined total, oh no, excuse me. Who will win the game? The Chiefs or the Eagles? Joey, you can go. I think my answer is going to be obvious.
So I want to manifest here because I think logically I would click the Chiefs, but I am manifesting the Eagles here. What did that lady say? ELGSES or something like that?
Yep.
Do it for me. Did I get it right?
Yeah, you were pretty close. She didn't say an L.
ELGSES. Go
Yeah, she
Birds.
didn't say an A.
I am rooting for the Eagles for sure in this one.
Me too. I think they're the better team. I
I thought
think,
the Bills were the better team
are you being serious?
than the Chiefs.
Regardless, I think the Eagles are a better team than both of those teams.
I agree with you.
So I think they will win this game.
I love the confidence.
I think they have too much star power, and Kansas City hasn't had to deal with that yet.
Yeah. Well, I am certainly rooting for the Eagles.
Okay, that brings us to question 18. Will the combined total of points be over or under 49 and a half?
I said over.
I also said over.
That
Yeah, not,
in line with our getting past 10 points.
I mean, we put up more than that by ourselves last week.
I think that's pretty logical then to go over
Yeah,
on that.
Eagles put up 55 against the Commanders.
Kind of crazy.
Wasn't enough. Should have been 72. Anyway, that brings us to the last question on the sheet. The MVP winner will be Patrick Mahomes, Saquon Barkley, or any other player.
You want me to go first?
Sure.
I said Saquon Barkley.
I also said Saquon Barkley. Um, However, if the Eagles throw the ball very well, Jalen Hurts, if the Eagles would have won 2 years ago, Jalen Hurts would have won the MVP.
Hmm.
I mean, he very clearly outplayed Mahomes in that game, and now he has to do even less.
I feel like the any other player pick would really be the smart pick here.
It really would, because it can come
Logically,
down to a receiver, a kicker,
the
it can
quarterback.
come
Well,
quarterback.
yeah, I think I'm kind of kicking myself here, but I'm gonna again stick with my gut. Leave it at Saquon.
I think if the Eagles win, I think it will be behind number 26. I think if the Eagles win, Saquon Barkley will be the most valuable player.
I'm loving the confidence here. It's making me happy.
Have to be.
It's true. Or else you just make yourself sick with worrying.
Yeah. Well, that is it on our prop bet sheet. Do you have any other last second additions just for fun between us? I have one.
What company will have the best commercial?
Ooh,
I feel like there's some standard ones that we could like
Dor
Doritos, Dunkin'.
Doritos,
I'm
Slack.
oh dear God, that was awful. Dan and I have
Tubi had
been
a good one.
traumatized with the Slack sound.
Tubi had a good one last year
What
where
was
it
that one?
changed where it made it look like the channel was changed.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
What? I really I'm gonna go with Dunkin' for my allegiance. You
They've
got
been
it.
putting out some good ones.
I saw the Dunkings are coming back, so that's exciting.
Nice.
Did you try? This is totally unrelated. Did you try the Valentine's Day sprinkle munchkins?
No.
I love. Sprinkles or jimmies, as you call them. And so they coated chocolate munchkins in them. It's fantastic.
I'll have to try it.
Absolutely. Anyway, you got one to throw at us?
I do. Do you think Kendrick will bring out any guest stars?
Yes. I don't know who, but yes.
I think so too.
I think it's a safe bet.
I've seen people online saying that it might be Taylor Swift.
Do they have a song together?
I, they do, Bad
Oh,
Blood.
wow. Oh, that would be kind of
My
cool.
my girlfriend, as she was walking by, dropped a definitive no when I said that. My
Oh, that's so
girlfriend is
funny.
a very large, very big Swiftie. So I think we have it
I,
from the
I
authority
I take
that
her judgment.
yes.
Respect her authority.
Well, yeah. Well, that is it for the Super Bowl prop bet sheet for the Blue Shadow podcast. These are both going to be on our social media platforms if you want to take a look and compare between the two of them. And again, if you want to do it, the website I use is Covers. I typed in Super Bowl prop bet sheet, and it's like the third one down.
And when I type the tweet out or post out, I can tag them. So you can find it.
Cool.
Anything else to add?
No, go Birds, hopefully.
Go Birds always for you.
This will be
Go Birds after the game's over, hopefully.
the follow-up to this will either be a very cheerful episode or a very upset episode. We'll see.
I
TBD.
we'll call it therapy. I'll let licensed therapist take over my role for that episode.
Thank you.
Anyway, thank you so much for listening. We know this is a little out of the ordinary for our topics that we discuss, but it's timely. Again, it's fun, not super technical in terms of football. So we hope you enjoyed. We hope you participate in doing this, and please consider sharing it with us if you do. Um, Please consider giving us a like, subscription, review on YouTube, the podcast platform of your choice. Consider giving us a follow on Twitter, X at Blue Shadow Pod, or on Instagram at Blue Shadow Podcast. And with that, we thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.
See you next time. Go Birds.